Hello everybody, it's Michael from Replica Airguns with another tabletop review for you guys. This gun's a little different. I don't do very many spring-powered BB pistols. It's kind of rare. Now I have done some Target spring-powered pellet pistols, but this gun's really designed to be more of a plinker. It's not going to be super accurate. It's really not going to be that powerful. What the Umarex DX-17 is really all about is perhaps getting your first airgun. Something that isn't going to cost you very much. The price is crazy affordable. We'll get into that in a bit. But the gun's really very usable and it's kind of fun. Now this product is available in our Canada Replica Airgun store. And again, it's a pretty crazy price right now. I don't know what the price will be long term, but at the time of this video, it's literally about $20. And that's Canadian. Now if you're ordering it on its own, you're going to pay for shipping, and shipping's going to almost be as much. So what I'd recommend is if you do buy this gun, maybe buy it with some other products at the same time. Keep that in mind. Alright, let's get into some of the specifications right away. It's a mostly plastic constructed gun. It does have a brake barrel, but that does not cock the gun. It is a spring piston design. The spring is in the actual slide. We'll show you that in a bit. It does use a single stroke cocking mechanism, so it's not a multi-pumper. It's a spring piston, so it's a single stroke. It shoots 4.5mm steel BBs. It is a single shot, but it's also a multi-shot because it does have a BB reservoir. I'll show you that too. It does use a smoothbore steel barrel because it is only for steel BBs, not pellets. It shoots about 200 FPS. You might think that's low, but you know, in reality, it's good enough for plinking, shooting pop cans and things like that. It does have fixed sights with a red dot in the front. No dots in the back, but there is a red dot in the front. It does help a little bit. It does have a fairly short barrel at 2.75 inches. And you'll see what I mean when I break that barrel for you to show it. The trigger on it is single action only because you have to actually cock the gun first, which sets the trigger. This gun weighs in at 1.6 pounds, even though most of it's plastic, so it does actually feel pretty good in the hand. And it has a 15-shot BB reservoir, so it's kind of a built-in internal magazine type thing. You will notice it does have an accessory rail, so you can add lasers, other accessories like tack lights, things like that. Now, it's not really a replica of any gun that I know of. It does kind of remind me a little bit of the Browning High Power, kind of in the shape, how it angles up here a little bit. Just the back half, a little bit of the barrel, but the Browning doesn't have a tack rail. So if you take the tack rail off, maybe shorten it a little bit, it's kind of similar. This gun is made in China, but for 20 bucks, I wouldn't really complain about where it's made. You aren't looking for the highest quality gun. That said, I was a little surprised at the overall quality of this gun. Now, as expected, it does come in a clamshell case, right, or packaging. Okay, so you've got some specifications there, right? Steel BB spring piston, single shot, accessory rail, right? 15-round reservoir. Not too much different on the back, right? Kind of all the same. It does come with a tin of steel BBs, and they're nice quality BBs, right? So that's going to get you started. 200 rounds. It's 200 rounds of having to pull back that slide. That'll keep you busy for a while. On the manual, you do have some other information. Fiber optic sight. I guess it's fiber optic. It's not just red dot. Picatinny rail. Smoothbore barrel. Steel BB. 15-round reservoir. Capacity. 200 FPS. Inside, you know, you're gonna need the instructions on this one, to be honest. Most guns you can just sort of take them and go, but I'll get into it. You know, I was kind of fumbling around until I actually looked at the instructions, because there's an order in which you have to do things in order to make it work. Okay, and I'll go over that. But this manual is going to kind of go over those things that I'm going to go over with you, how to load it. You know, the order of things, again, is important, okay? So keep that in mind. So as I do the walk around and stuff, we will get into the order of business, how to shoot this gun, how to load it and everything. But let's take a look at it first. All right, so you got your DX-17 there on the slide. You have your slide catch release in theory, right? So that's basically the magazine. Now before you can do, or sorry, the slide, basically before you can do anything, you're gonna have to pull that back all the way till it locks back and push it all the way forward, and you notice the slide catch release automatically goes up, locks it in place. Okay, so now you'll notice you can actually move your safety back and forth. So I'd recommend at this point you put the gun on safe, okay, by putting the safety all the way to the far side there, and then you can pull up the basically the barrel, right? And you can load a BB in there. There's basically a rubber sort of gasket in there. You can see that. Okay, you can see it's kind of a rubber gasket. It holds the BB. And this is the BB reservoir. You can put 15 BBs in there, okay? So when you load your BBs in there, you load your BBs in there and put one in the chamber, okay, right away. Otherwise, your first shot's going to be a dud. So once you pop that down, you're literally ready to go. Take it off safe, and then you're going to notice there's a bit of recoil. And you do get a little bit of spring recoil because it is a spring piston gun. Not as much as a blowback CO2 gun, but a lot more than a standard CO2 BB pistol that doesn't have blowback, okay? Now you'll notice now I cannot move the brake barrel up until I cock the gun. So you can't load the gun at all with ammunition until the gun has been fully cocked back. Now when you do load, when you do have the reservoir full, pretend that this gun is level. You do have to cock it with the barrel in a slightly upward position to load BBs in, because I believe they're gravity fed. So they need to kind of come down and get into the right position, and gravity assists that. So again, if the gun would be like this, raise the barrel up. Pretend this is, you're looking straight at it from the side. Raise the barrel up and then cock the gun. Pull the slide catch down, cock the gun, right? And at that point, you don't need to do anything with the barrel. If you have BBs in the reservoir, you're ready to go, okay? There you go. So it's pretty straightforward once you figure it out, but if you don't do it in the right order, you're not going to be able to do it. Now you notice when the gun is, like, the slide hasn't been pre-charged, the spring isn't charged, you notice you can't do anything with the safety. It's non-functional, right? You can't move the safety, you can't release the barrel. So that's going to tell you whether or not the slide or the spring has been charged. And you generally want to leave springs in the uncharged position between shooting, because they can, once they're sprung, right, they're in tension mode, then it can actually make the spring weaker over time. So you want to make sure this gun is uncharged when you store it. Now I have shot it, so the trigger is actually pretty decent. It's fairly short, it's fairly light. It's not extremely predictable, but you will figure out where the release point is. It's hard to tell, it's more of just a point in time. There's no more resistance or less resistance, but you will figure it out. You will again feel some spring recoil. Not as much as a blowback air gun, but definitely more than a non-blowback CO2 gun. Now 200 FPS isn't super fast, but I shot it in my 30-foot range. And you know what? It got there fast enough. It was getting there a little quicker than I thought it would. From the time I shot to the time I heard the sound, it was pretty decent. Is it going to penetrate a lot of targets? Not so much. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get through a can, like a typical pop can. Probably not a Campbell soup can, but a pop can, no problem. You're not going to be able to shoot real far ranges with this gun, but for plinking close range, it should be just fine. And because it has that 15-round reservoir, you're not going to be fumbling around with BBs in your hand or your pocket trying to load between shots. You can put the 15 rounds in there and just basically pull that slide back, push it forward, and you're ready to go for the next shot. All right, let's get into some of the pros and the cons. At $21 Canadian, I think it's $20.95 or something like that right now at the time of this video. It's a pretty great value plinker, I think. It actually looks and feels pretty good in person, better than I expected it to. Like when I saw it in the packaging, I thought, okay, a $20 spring piston gun, this thing's going to feel like garbage in my hand. But you know what? It feels pretty good. It feels like a regular, $70, $80 BB pistol. So there's nothing wrong with it there. You're not going to require any CO2, so it's going to be really cheap to shoot. And the single action trigger, again, is pretty decent. Not bad at all for a $20 gun. You also have that accessory rail for adding a laser or perhaps a tack light if you want to shoot it in darker environments. And you have that 15-round reservoir, making follow-up shots quicker and no fumbling around for BBs in between shots. Now the lower FPS also gives you an advantage, because if you do something stupid, like shoot yourself, you're probably less likely to have to make a trip to the doctor. At 200 FPS, it's a 50-50. Is that thing going to go in your skin? Hard to say. Through clothing, probably not. If you have a higher power BB gun, you're probably going to have to try and get that BB out one way or another, because it's going to get inside you a little bit, right? All right, some cons. Pretty low FPS, so don't expect any long range shooting or any kind of really deep penetration into targets, which includes you. Sights are non-adjustable, and it seems to shoot kind of high. I did notice when I shot it that it was shooting a little bit high at 30 feet. So, maybe at 40 feet it's going to start dropping already because of the low FPS. If I get in a little closer, I might not have to adjust my sight point as much. But that's something you can work on when you're shooting this gun. You can figure out where it's shooting at and make slight adjustments in your targeting or your aim position. Again, this item is available in our Canada Replica Airgun store, so check out replicaairguns.ca. I'll put a link in the description of the video. $20, you can't really go too wrong. Also come on down to replicaairguns.com where we have articles, post reviews. I'll have additional photos there along with my written article. Again, there'll be a link in the description for that as well. You can also check out our Canada and US online Replica Airgun stores at replicaairguns.ca and replicaairguns.us where we have air guns, BB guns, pellet guns, airsoft guns, blank guns, knives, and other accessories. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, take care.